Hello Sally. Right, I'm going to give you a quick run through of what I've done on my van. It really is actually quite simple. It's just negatives and positives. There's no real difficulty in it. I'll give you a quick run through of what I've done and then you can see. Okay, let's go for it. So, I'm going to start where the system starts basically, which is from the solar panel. In this case, I've got a 100-watt solar panel bolted on the roof. It's actually quite small, it'd fit on the top of yours easily. I'm thinking about going slightly bigger, well, as much as I can fit before I have any overlap. I can actually swivel this panel. There's just a single bolt at the end there, and it hinges there, so I can tip it up if need be to catch the sun, but I've never had to do that. It virtually does work. It works with the sun on it anyway. So anyway, that's the solar panel. If we go around the back of the van, you'll have to excuse it because it's full of my agility equipment at the moment. So there are the lines that come from the solar panel, the DC voltage, and my connectors, fortunately, they tuck away and go through a rubber grommet that was on the van in the first place, so I haven't had to drill any holes in the roof, just use the original grommet. So that's our positive and negative supply. That comes in through the van. I've got an earth strap there. There's the two wires that come in through the van, and they go straight into my solar charger. At the moment you can see it's reading about 13 volts. It's probably doing that because I have actually, it's been so grim lately that I've separately charged it because I don't think the solar panels have been able to keep it topped up. And the trouble is with leisure batteries, if you let them go low, they don't recover. So but at the moment that's showing about 13 volts. So I've got one cable that goes to the earth of the van. That's just screwed on there, and then we've got this cable here which follows all the way through. And if I go around the other side of the van, so at the moment it's just DC voltage, just 12 volts. So it comes through the van. This is normally tucked away, but I've got it out just for showing. Now it goes from the solar charger. Obviously it's got to go to the battery to charge the battery. I've made a small battery box which I've included a digital display to show what it's currently showing. 13 volts is massive, that's enough. I mean, the battery's 12 volts. I've set mine not to go over 13.6, but that's showing 13 volts at this battery, which is the solar battery. Right, so if I take this lid off now, so it's only a box, Steve could make that lovely. You can just use what you want. So there's my battery. I've actually got a relay there that this is an option that I put in. This relay, split relay they call it, this will charge from the van alternator when I'm driving and charge this battery, but it always gives priority to the van battery. Once the van battery's full, it then charges this, so I haven't got to worry about it, you know, going flat when I'm driving or whatever. So that's 12 volts up to there. The 12 volts normally comes out from the battery, it's the same connection. And what I've got a massive isolator down there. I've got what they use on the race cars. This basically is just an isolator to stop that going to the inverter. So if I switch that off, that's off now. Actually I left it on, which is a bit naughty. There's nothing going to the inverter, so if I switch the inverter on I won't get it. It's just a safety thing. I'm going to switch it on now, and there you go. Here's my lovely 3000 watt inverter. It's about, I would say about 400 mil long and about 150 mil wide. This is my second one. My first one gave up. It was only about 1500 watts and it wasn't a very good make. This one's actually a good make. It cost me a lot of money. It cost me about 250 quid, but worth every penny. And this is a pure sine wave, so you don't get erratic sine waves which will damage equipment. This is a pure sine wave inverter. Like I say, it cost me about 250. You might find one cheaper somewhere, but you, like anything, you only get what you pay for. And I learned on my first one that didn't cost me nothing, that, you know, it was a bit of a waste of money, plus it wasn't half the size. So anyway, so now the power's going to the inverter. So the 12 volts now is going into this, and this is what inverts it from 12 volts to 250 volts. So I'm going to switch the inverter on. There it is, it's all lit up, and it will show on the display the current state of the battery when it's settled. Oh, I can't actually see it because it's a bit bright. No, you can't see it, but it says on there I've got 12.3 volts going in, and I've got 240 volts coming out. Now, to prove a point about a hairdryer, I've got a drill here. I've just got out of my garage, and this is rated at, I can't see the wattage on there. Oh no, here we are. Was that 1200 watts? Anyway. Nice, it's got to be more than 1200, but I'm going to plug this drill in. So this is straight off of my van battery basically. This is getting nothing else but from what that is supplying to the inverter. Plugged in, switch on, and away you go. There it is, all ready to go. So you can imagine running a toaster or an electric kettle. And I've quite often been out doing a job and I've needed this because I haven't had any power to the house. So that's the inverter, I would say, is the key thing. Obviously everything has to be kept into scale. I would say my inverter actually is probably slightly too big for my battery. I could do with 2 batteries, and then I could run the house on that if I really wanted. Well, not literally, but there you go. But this is more than what I need for my low wattage kettle, which is there. That's my low wattage kettle. It's got my agility equipment in. That's my low wattage toaster, and also my lovely little TV. Now, I've had that TV on for hours at a show, and I mean hours. I've sat around watching F1 qualifying, and 2 or 3 hours later gone out to do a bit more agility. I've never run the battery down with the TV. I don't know how many watts it is. I should really check to let you know, but it's only a small TV, but I love it. I cannot go to a show without my telly. I know it sounds stupid. Sometimes I'd have my telly over perhaps some of the other luxuries, because I just like to be able to keep up on things. Like I say, that's a low wattage toaster. I think that's only about, I can't remember, it should say on the base. Oh, here we are. This was only about 12 quid, I think. Yeah, it's 650 watt. Oh, that's quite high actually, 650 watt. Mind you, a lot of electrical kettles indoors are they can be up to 3 kilowatt. The toaster I think is about 800 watt. That reminds me now, but the toaster works a treat. The only thing you've got to have respect for is your battery, because if I used that toaster one day and I done 2 lots of toast and it was fine, but it started to show a lower voltage on the inverter. But once it had been in the sun, half hour later this battery had topped up. This is why I like these digital displays on the front, because see now that's dropped to 12.7 now. Oh, everything's in the way. That's dropped to 12.7 now because I've even got the inverter on. And obviously, because it's such a poor day, I mean, it's raining here at the moment, there's no sunshine at all. And what I tend to do is if we have weeks like this of rain and no sunshine, I worry that this battery won't remain topped up. You can't let these leisure batteries drop down in voltage. They have to be up all the time. If you let them drop, they don't seem to recover. But in the same light, they're an excellent battery for deep draining. So in other words, if I was to put my toaster on it, it don't mind being drained almost to nothing, but it'll charge up quickly. What they don't like is being drained to nothing and then not recharge. So every now and then I might put this on manual charge, especially when we've had you know, the weather we've got here at the moment, which is rain and dull. But there you go, that's basically the setup. There really isn't a lot to it. So, oh, gone all, that's better. There isn't a lot to it, but if you want to have a go, there's nothing to say that you don't need a solar panel on the roof. I just found it easier on the roof. And you know, I haven't got to keep getting, you can buy these suitcase things now where you just plug them in or whatever. but I didn't want to be arsing around. I just wanted to get there, and I don't. I literally just plug and play. Where if you've got a suitcase one, you've got to set it up, you've got to tap it into your charge controller and so on. Mine's set up all the time. Anyway, there you go. If you've got anything you need to know or you're not sure about, ask. Okay, see you later.